Hey everybody, in this video we are looking at example 3 of the second section in the unit on exponential and logarithmic functions, which focuses on logarithmic functions and a total introduction. So in this example we are going to be looking at how to evaluate a logarithm. So there's a few ways you can do this. I'm going to show you what I think is the cleanest, nicest way, and that is to read this question as just that, as a question. All right. So, for example, right over here, log base 2 of 16. How do we read that? That means 2 to what power equals 16. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to essentially use the one-to-one property to work on this example. And what is that going to look like? Well, glad you asked. Let's go. So 2 to what power equals 16? But 16, can you write that as 2 to a power? Sure, it's 2 to the 4. Now, since you have 2 to a power equals 2 to a power, we could ignore the 2's. You're not dividing by 2. You are not subtracting 2. None of that. We are simply ignoring the 2 and comparing just the exponents. So question mark must equal 4. Therefore, we're evaluating this as 4. So could you do this part in your head? 2 to what power is 16? And then just jump right to the answer and be like, bing, 4. Beautiful. Absolutely, of course you could do that. So you choose whatever is going to work for you best. Next one, basically how do I read it? What do I think? 7 to what power is 1 over 49. And again, I'm going to try to do the same thing. 7's already prime. I can't really do much more with it, but 49, maybe you start it and you just say 1 over 7 squared. But maybe you think about it a little longer and you're like, wait, duh, 1 over 7 squared, that's really 7 to the negative second power. So that means question mark equals negative 2, and that's exactly what we're solving for, is question mark. So negative 2, and you're done. That would be example B. Next up, example C. On example C, we have log base 25 of 5. Now don't autocorrect and make it into something that you want it to be. It does say 25 to what power is 5. It is that way. So can I write them both as the same base? Well, 5 is just 5 to the 1. 25 is going to be 5 to the second, and that's to the question mark. When you raise something to a power and then raise that whole thing to a power, you multiply your exponents. So you have 5 to the 2 times question mark, or 2x, equals 5 to the 1, which means 2 times question mark equals 1, and divide both sides by 2. So that means question mark equals 1/2. And that's it. We are done with that one. Last one is example D. And that reads as 2 raised to what power equals the 5th root of 2. 5th root of 2. Let's make that a little neater. There we go. Now we got to know a few things. For starters, 2 to what power means just 2 to that power. And on the other side, I have 2 in the 5th root. You got to know that that is 1/5 power. So what does that tell me? That question mark is equal to 1/5. So the final answer is 1/5. Done. So could we, so that was 1/5. Then the next one was, that's not orange. Maybe it is 1/2. This was negative 2, and the pink was 4. Now you could also completely set it equal to y and change it into b to the y equals x. That's totally fine. But next set of examples, I'm just going to kind of jump into it a little quicker. So 10 to what power is 100? 2. Next example is going to be, nope, don't want that color. It's too green. Here we go. 5 to what power is 125? If you could do it in your head and get negative 3, beautiful. If you got to write it down, 125 is 5 to the 3rd. It's in the denominator. Move it up, make the power negative, then so be it. Next up is 36 to what power is 6? That answer will be 1/2, meaning square root. And last but not least, we have 3 to what power is the 7th root of 3? Well, that would be 1/7. And that is the end of that. So give it some thought. Any questions, anything you need clarified, just go ahead and let me know. We are basically using what we call the 1-to-1 property, which you could kind of see. That's another thing involving 1. But yeah, we're basically using the 1-to-1 property, and we're basically kind of keeping track and switching the form from logarithmic to exponential in our brains. And these are mental math style questions. Hope that was helpful, and hope you're feeling good. If so, go right ahead and give this a beautiful thumbs up, if not thumbs down. And question, comment, concern, feedback, or request in the comment section. Check the playlist, check the description box. Bye for now. Sayonara.